Faith for healing. I think first of all, it comes just by reading the Word and starting to believe and trust the Word, because the Word reveals who God is. As we read the Word and begin to believe it, we begin to think about God in the right ways. And then when we start to think of Him in the right ways and we read the Gospels and we read some of the other stories and testimonies throughout the Bible, we start to think, wow, that guy's just a regular guy just like I am. He can do that because he's partnering with God. I can do that maybe because I'm partnering with God. So faith comes initially, I think, just by beginning to trust in God. And that doesn't even have to be a lot of faith. It's just you start small, you start with what you have, and just read the Word and begin to believe it, that it is true. And then begin to live according to the Word, or adjust your life so that it aligns with what the Word of God says. So now once you have kind of a basic beginning part for faith in general, how do you grow in faith for healing? Well, I think a great place to start is, again, read through the Gospels. There's lots of healing miracles and testimonies in the Gospels. The life of Jesus is the clearest place in the Scriptures to see healing take place. History also has lots of revivals, lots of ministers over the years who have had some tremendous healing anointings or giftings upon their lives and have had great impact. And so I am always very encouraged to read their stories and to read the testimonies of the things that happen. And it's really neat because all of those people, we look back at them and we know them as the greats in history that did these great healing movements or these great healing encounters. But when we read their stories, we find out that they were actually little kids. They had parents. They didn't always obey their parents. They had issues and problems in their life, and yet God called them, and He redeemed them, and He delivered them from the various bondages in their lives. And then He called them into the ministry, and then they sought Him out as well, and then He moved through their lives. And so reading their testimonies and reading the stories about the people that got healed is a great way to build faith. But in the end, ultimately, to grow in faith the most, you have to take risk. You have to one day decide, I'm going to go pray for somebody for healing and see what happens. Because as James tells us, faith without works or without any kind of action is dead. So faith without an action isn't faith. So for example, if I am walking into a store and I see somebody who has an injury or who needs healing of some kind, I could say, I have faith that God's going to heal them right now because I know that God is a healer and I know that He wants to heal them right now. But if I never talk to that person and I just watch them walk by and walk into the store and go about their day, they're never going to get healed. And so my faith really wasn't faith because there was no action, there was no risk to my faith. But if I see that person and I say, I have faith they're going to be healed, and I go talk to them, I am just exercising the faith that I have. Whether they get healed or not isn't my responsibility. I am just acting on my faith. I trust God that He wants to touch their life right now. And so I'm going to take an action to hopefully release that. And whether they get healed or not, I still acted on my faith. And so I grow in faith. I grow in confidence then in taking risk. So that, to me, the key is taking a risk.